So, this is a video I'm making way outside of my knowledge right now. I've never really been a car person. They didn't speak to me, not in the way that a lot of people talk about them. There are too many terms I didn't understand, too many numbers, too many people telling me, it's easy once you get it. Well, fuck off. I didn't. I didn't look at a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and feel my heart jump. I thought they were cool as cars and I knew they were expensive. But I didn't understand the whole, yeah, so that's a 3.4 liter V8 turbocharged engine and yeah. My reaction was usually an approving nod and maybe raising my eyebrows, saying, oh, that's pretty shiny, or that's kind of cool, and that's about it. Although, if I'm being honest, I've always liked the look of certain cars. Maybe it's the creative side of me. The way the lines curve or how an angle was implemented into it. The way it functions and moves. This pretty much stemmed from my interest in architecture and clean furniture design, like Van der Rohe or Bauhaus, or some of Eames' stuff. Timeless pieces that either stuck to the same style or looked like they didn't age no matter what era they belonged to, always looking new, and it had a function. But also, I've always liked the sound of engines, even if I didn't know why. It was kind of like hearing a song in a language you don't speak, or dancing to lyrics you don't listen to all the way, but you scream the words anyway. You don't get everything, but the rhythm still hits. I got the best of both worlds after a friend introduced me to this car, the Lexus LFA, which is his favorite car. And at first I thought, okay, cool, another car. Very expensive, very rare, but not my world. My initial thought was, I guess this could be fun to draw. And I did draw it a couple of times. It was simple enough that I didn't have to use too many lines. A far cry from attempting to draw a Koenigsegg. Have you seen the lines on those? Yeah. You get one thing wrong on it, if your perspective's off, I threw it away pretty fast. But I liked the design of it. It was clean. For me, it reminded me of the timelessness of Van der Rohe's Farnsworth house. But I didn't really think much of it after that. Until recently. I decided to watch a couple of videos out of boredom. My friend had a playlist of a couple of videos he found interesting, and I decided to watch a short documentary on the history of the LFA. Not even a second in, I heard this. That V10 engine came alive, and suddenly it wasn't just noise. It wasn't just mechanical chaos. It was music. It was deliberate. Like someone decided to yank out the vocal cords of an opera singer and throw it into an engine. Okay, the instrument nerd in me screamed a little. Yamaha engineers were the ones who tuned its sound. Oh, so the engineers in lab coats? The one who made the motorcycles, dirt bikes, the F1 engines. Yeah, I got it. Wait, who designed it? Wait, the sound design team made it? Yup, it was the sound design team. You know, the people who build pianos, guitars, and that keyboard that's collecting dust behind my couch. These were people who think in harmonics and resonance, not only in horsepower and torque. And this is when it clicks for me. This wasn't a car. It was an instrument. Yamaha didn't just make it go fast. They made it sing. And people who've heard it, they lose their minds. One journalist famously called it the roar of an angel. Which is honestly a weird phrase to me, and it has been since I first actually started learning about this. Like, angels roar now? Did I miss that memo? But once you hear it, you get it. Because it doesn't sound like other cars. It's not a low growl. It's not a heavy rumble. It's bright, sharp, almost holy. It sounds like if heaven had the car, the one warming up in the parking lot. Or it's the Poopmobile. I don't know. Okay, short break. Here's where my music nerd dumbass comes out, and I hope I'm right, because I'm not that great at music theory. From my not-so-perfect pitch, I tried to decipher the lowest and highest notes of the LFA hits while screaming. And it took a lot of trial and error, but I eventually plucked it out on piano and realized something pretty cool. The engine sings in a major 10th interval. Now, if you have no experience in music theory, then get out. Nah, I'm joking. Okay, let me translate. Imagine you sit down at a piano. This is middle C, also known as C4. Then you count 8 notes up to get to C5. This is called an octave. Then you add 2 notes to get to E5. There are 10 notes in between C4 and E5. And now you know what a major 10th is. Lesson over. And the sound of that, it's soaring, it's open, it feels like it's lifting you somewhere. And what's special about the LFA? The engine, what's this whole, oh my gosh, the engine. Anyway, if you don't know, the car's engine is a V10, 10 cylinders. What else did I mention 10 in? Look! Major 10th. Tell me that's not poetry, there's no way. It's like the sound engineers said, you know what would be hilarious? Let's tune this perfectly so music nerds can lose their shit over it. But it's not just the interval, it's the harmonics. When it revs, it's not just one flat note. It layers, it stacks, and it blooms the way a chord rings out on a grand piano. Or the way a choir doesn't just sing one note but fills the whole space with overtones. You don't just hear it, you feel it. In your ribs, in your chest, in that part of your spine that makes you sit up straighter when something sounds just right. Of course, I've never seen this in person. I don't know shit about cars. But for those of you who have, I'm sure it sounds absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we've talked about the music theory side, but then there's the other half of the story, acoustics. Basically how sound moves, bounces, and shapes itself in the world. Because this car doesn't just make a note, it designs the space around that note. And most cars, their sound is like performing a concert in the shower. And don't get me wrong, I love that vibe and it sounds awesome. But their engine sound is there, sure, and it might sound cool, but it's echoey, messy, and uncontrolled. The LFA, however, is pretty different. It's like, instead of singing in the shower, you're singing in Carnegie Hall. Yamaha treated the cabin and the exhaust like parts of an instrument. Imagine if you hollowed out a guitar, but instead of strings, you had a V10 engine. That's kind of what they did. The intake system is like the mouth of a wind instrument. It controls how the sound begins and how it breathes. The exhaust is like the resonating body of a violin. It amplifies, colors, and projects the tone outward. And the cabin, where the driver sits, is basically the concert hall. Yamaha literally tuned the panels, the vents, even the way the sound entered the interior, so it felt like you were sitting inside the performance. And here's the wildest part. They shaped the acoustics so that different notes would hit you in different places. Some vibrations travel through the steering wheel, others through the floor, and the higher frequencies, those are directed right into your ears. It's surround sound, but with no speakers. It's just purely physics. It's like the car knows it's not enough for you to hear the music. You have to feel it. That's what acoustics is all about. The same reason a violin sounds different from a trumpet, or a concert in a cathedral sounds more powerful than the one in your bedroom. Space changes sound. And the LFA is literally sculpting that space as you drive. And I swear, when you listen to it climb the revs, it's like listening to a symphony build towards its finale. Tension, release, crescendo, and then that scream, not a roar, not a bark, an actual musical scream. Bright, thrilling, angelic, and yes, I'm calling a car angelic. A topic I honestly didn't really care for was one of the most interesting things I've researched, even if it was only for a few days to a week. So here's what I've learned. The Lexus LFA doesn't just scream. It sings. It sings in a major 10th, powered by 10 cylinders, tuned by Yamaha like a grand piano on steroids. It's the roar of an angel, the chorus of a machine. And if you ever get the chance to hear one in person, don't just use your ears. Let it shake your chest. Let it hum through your bones. What's funny is that I started this whole thing trying to understand why my friend loves this car so much. I figured I learned a couple stats, maybe pretend I had any idea what the hell any of these terms mean. Yeah, I'm still so lost. But instead, I stuck to the things I found interesting from my point of view. And I caught myself knee-deep in intervals, resonance, acoustics, and reteaching myself music theory, basically trying to figure out how this is a symphony on wheels, which is something I never thought I would say.